Okay, we've had well over 2 inches of rain over the last several days. The weather's been yucky, it's been terrible. We haven't been able to get outside much and do anything in the garden. But the good thing is, after a spring rain like this, lots of biology starts to happen. So I want to just kind of check in on the garden and see what's going on as things are starting to dry out and we can come back outside today. Let's have a look at what's going on in our garden over here. We can see our zucchini plants are getting a lot bigger. Okay, they're starting to come out of the little cages that I set up for them. Look over here. All our cucumbers have emerged. And we're going to introduce a term here that hopefully some of you know already, but when a seed sprouts in the soil like this, we call that germination. The seed has germinated. Okay, and so we can see I've got 3 hills on each side of the little cattle guard here, cattle panel, and we're getting even in the middle in there. You can just see the different stages of germination. Okay, but it's just starting to emerge there. You know, these ones are a little bit further along right here. And then, of course, these over here have been out for a day or so now. Yeah, there's some over there. Okay, even over here where we did some squash. Okay, we got the 2 hills of squash here and here that have germinated. And I just want to show you guys this real quick. Some of you may not know. This is what a squash seed looks like. Okay, squash and cucumbers are very closely related to one another, and so their seeds are very similar in size and shape. So we put these in the ground, cover them, give them a little bit of water, give them a little bit of warmth, and lo and behold, they're starting to grow. So this is essentially a plant embryo. Okay, is the seed alive? Yes, it is. Okay, you give it the right conditions, and it will germinate, and it will begin to grow a new plant. We're going to talk about plants in a little bit more detail in the coming weeks, and seeds and plant reproduction and all that, but I wanted you guys to see this while this was happening live in our yard. Okay, now we've got over here, you stay, Bristol, stay.
Sure.
Okay, over here I've got 6 more hills of squash that are coming up, and they're all in various stages of germination as well. You see some have just barely started to emerge, and then others, like these ones closer to the fence hill here, are on their way. Now another thing we'll talk about, notice these first 2 seed leaves that come out on a plant like this, they're referred to as cotyledons. Okay, the seed, the energy, that's all a seed is. It's a packet of energy that the plant can use, the plant embryo can use to begin to grow and to develop, to produce these cotyledons. And once those cotyledons emerge, they're green. Their leaves, what have we been talking about the last couple of lessons? Photosynthesis. These guys are ready now to start taking in the sun, taking in the light, carrying out photosynthesis, getting nutrients, getting water from their environment, from their soil, and beginning to grow and to develop, and hopefully, you know, in several weeks from now, they'll produce some fruit for us, some squash. That's what we're hoping for. Okay. Speaking of fruit, let's have a look over here. Check in on our peach trees. Now we got 2 peach trees. One of them isn't doing anything really, so to speak, but this one here has got quite a few fruit on them. Okay, there's probably a dozen or more scattered throughout the tree. You can see some are, you know, developing right there. Okay, so hopefully we'll get
there's a big one over there.
Yeah, there's a big one right here. Okay, and I'm not sure why they're making these double-sided fruits. I'm gonna have to read up on this variety of peach and see what's going on there. But some interesting developments over here in the fruit category, and of course this is the peach tree reproducing. Okay, making more peach trees. Now this one over here, I couldn't find any buds that had appeared to produce fruit, except for there was one on this branch here that was, I was hopeful, yeah, right here. That's the only one I've been able to find on this tree. But ooh, there's a yellow jacket. I'll have to make sure.
Where?
On that limb right there.
Oh yeah.
He's probably looking for something sweet to feed on. Ooh, and I see I got some ant activity down here. I'm gonna have to treat too. So everybody, oh look here. Well, this is one thing that we want to keep on our peach trees. Some kind of we would call it a ladybug. It's a beetle. but these guys are good at eating pests and other things on the tree that might eat the leaves or cause the tree some harm. Yeah, that are microscopic and we can't see. So we want to keep those guys around.
Cool.
All right. Okay, over here on the other side, in the main part of the garden, we got a couple of things going on and some things not going on. We put these pepper plants in the ground. Probably transplanted them a little too early, and they weren't really sturdy and hardy enough to withstand all that wind and all that rain we had last week. And you can see that two of our pepper plants are not doing so good. One is just flat out toast. That was the early jalapeno. And this was the banana pepper, and you can see right here where it gets snapped off. I might be able to snap it off right there and let these leaves grow, but I've also got some other plants over here that I can replace them with, and I may do that. These are pepper plants, and they're in a little bit better shape. Just a quick update on Rocky. You can see he's trying to put some leaves out. He's got some more leaf buds that are getting active here. I don't know if he'll make it. We probably ought to get him in a planter. We got some big planters that we're probably going to put Timmy and Rocky in here sometime in the next day or so. Okay. All right, now real quick over here, some other interesting things going on. I'll show you in this bed. This, of course, is one of our green bean beds. Doing okay. Got a little bit of insect activity trying to control, but check this out. What is this? Well, if you remember, in one of the very first videos I made, this was kale. It was still in the ground. I just cut the kale off right at the base of the ground right there. You can see where I snipped it off. Okay, and what is that? What happened is that forced this plant to make a response. Okay, one of the things we'll talk about is organisms' response to their environment. This plant responded by saying,
3,
uh-oh,
4.
I don't have any more leaves to do photosynthesis. How am I going to continue to grow and develop and to live? And so what did it do? It sent up some shoots that quickly became leaves, and now it's trying to carry out photosynthesis and continue to live.
Over there. That
Which
green
one?
thing. No, right
In the
there.
middle? That's just an undesirable weed probably, but you can see several of the kale plants have come back up, and they're trying to grow again. Okay. Now another thing we can talk about too in here is, as Avery just pointed out, there's some other undesirable little things coming up too. Okay, little weeds that we don't want, little grasses and stuff we don't want. Okay, why don't we want them? Well, remember, competition is organisms competing for the same things: the soil, the space in the soil, the nutrients in the soil, the water in the soil. We don't want all these other plants growing because they're going to compete with the plants we do want growing. And if outcompeted, our plants might not produce as well or might not produce at all. So that's why when you're cultivating a garden like this, you're always taking care to make sure that you don't have things that you don't want growing in and around. Now, variety is good. That's why I have a bunch of different kinds of beans in here and a few different kinds of plants. To keep some variation in the garden ecosystem, but some of these we don't want just because of the competition aspect.
Dragons are doing good.
Yeah, these guys are all doing good. Probably gonna do some training. Look, there's another ladybug over here too. So those are things we want in our garden. All right. All right. Let's get just a quick update on
Venus flytraps.
the Venus flytraps. You can see this one looks like it might be starting to open its flower here pretty soon.
They're going tall.
Okay, and this one over here, this flower's below its leaf. That's not normal, but this thing's probably going to get heavy enough in the next couple of days that it's going to lean over, and then that'll probably take care of
It's
itself.
pretty tall.
All right, interesting stuff in the biology at home classroom in our backyard. Very good.